Hi everyone, I'm Law of the West, and welcome to this buyer's guide for the Mark II version of the F7C. This ship is basically the same thing as the Mark I in concept, but it has a lot of improvements that have been done to the chassis, its flight deck, and its weapon hardpoints have been given an upgrade. It also comes with a container that holds up to 2 SUs worth of cargo that's located where the dorsal turret would normally be, but you can remove it and replace it with a number of optional items. This ship is basically the stripped down version of an F7A Mark II that's had both of its turrets removed. And its default weapons loadout only has 2 wing-mounted weapons installed on it, but it still has all of the F7A's original hardpoints, so you can purchase and install everything that it's missing after the fact. And its ordnance loadout consists of 8 size 1 missiles that are mounted onto a pair of non-customizable racks. The reason why it comes this way is because it was meant to be sold to the civilian market, so they stripped it down, which consequently is also why it's the least expensive version of the Mark II Hornet that you could purchase. And I have some advice for anyone who owns the old version of the F7C and are looking to upgrade it to the Mark II. And that advice would be to keep in mind that there are going to be some advantages to keeping this legacy version of the ship. Like for instance, the Mark I outperforms the Mark II when it comes to its speed and maneuverability, but it only outperforms it by the tiniest of margins that are usually about 1% or less in any particular area. And another thing that the Mark I has going for it are its 4 customizable missile racks that hold 4 size 1s and 4 size 2 missiles. So between the customization options and the increased ordnance size, the Mark I has a better missile loadout. And third, it has the original Hornet console setup, which was my personal favorite among any of the other fighter craft. And that's mainly because it had 6 MFDs that were placed everywhere that you want them to be. But if you own a Mark I F7C and you have already made up your mind that you do want to upgrade it to the Mark II and you're wondering what you're going to be getting for your money, the body of the Mark II has wing-mounted hardpoints that are 1 size larger than the Mark I's. Its landing gear retracts into the body of the ship instead of pulling up into its wings. And its missile bay is built into the ship's belly instead of that weird setup that the Mark I has. Its wings also don't clip into the sides of the ship when they're folded, and they've greatly toned down the size of the retro thrusters. So what's the point of the F7C? It's the foundation that all the other Hornet models are based on, so you can get this stripped down version of this ship for a reduced price and use its modularity to your advantage by allowing you to pick and choose what types of upgrades you want to put into it. In the future, you should be able to buy additional add-ons like the Tracker's radar dish, the Ghost Void armor, or the Super Hornet's turrets, and I'm sure that there's going to be more items that are coming out in the future. So this ship is going to have a lot of options and directions that you can take it in. There's one last thing you should be made aware of, and it's some advice for people who may not like that they missed out on getting it with LTI, but they're going to hold their nose and get it anyway, and for those people I'd say hold off. Because the Mark II version of the Ghost, the Tracker, and the Super Hornet are going to be coming out at some point, so if you want a Mark II version of the Hornet that comes with LTI, you may want to hold off till those ships get put up for sale and get one of them instead. That's going to be it for this F7C Mark II Buyer's Guide. I've been your host, Law of the West. Thanks for watching, and take care.